of the historians here at Riverside, and today we are making bricks. Brick making is one of the activities that we have put in our hands-on history adventure box. It is chock full of hands-on activities and tricks of the trade from history detectives like me. And one of the activities in here is brick making. And you might ask, why bricks? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, the historic house pictured here behind me is completely made of bricks. There were over 300,000 bricks handmade here on the property and used to complete this house. And they are one of the most common artifacts we find in the archaeology, but also they are an integral part of the Riverside experience. They are a time-tested favorite activity of part of our field trip program. And we're gonna make a brick. And one of the reasons that we really enjoy making bricks is because it gives us an opportunity to acknowledge and honor some of the people who lived here. Even though this place is called Riverside, the Farnsley-Moremen landing, most of the people who lived here over time weren't Farnsleys, and they weren't Mormons either. The majority of the people who lived here over time were either Native Americans or they were African Americans, either enslaved African Americans, or after 1865 they were free. But it is the enslaved people that not only made the bricks, but also to help build the house. And we know one man in particular, Dave, was described in court documents as a master brick maker, a brick mason. And so he would have more than likely been in charge of making all these bricks. And we're gonna do it a little differently than they did, but it's pretty similar. So you start off with your supplies. You'll have a ball of clay like this, and you'll have a little box. This is going to be your brick mold, and usually for the bricks that the house was made out of, they would have had a big wooden brick mold. We have our little clay slicer, and we have a toothpick, and we'll show you what that's for at the very end. And to start off with, you'll take your ball of clay, and it's really important that you work it in between your hands. You make it nice and warm and soft and easy to work with. Now we know where the clay that came to make the bricks for the house came from. It was actually dug from a pit in a field not too far from here. And that clay was really hard to work with. So we actually use artist clay, which is much, much easier. But you want to make it nice and soft, and then you want to shape it into kind of a potato, kind of like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your potato and you're going to put it in your mold, and using your thumb or your finger, you're going to slowly start to work your clay into the mold. Now you want to be patient, and you want to get your clay all the way into the corners, and that's going to be important. You don't want a brick that doesn't have any corners on it. And slowly your box is going to fill up with clay. And that's okay. You don't want to worry about it if you have extra. In fact, you want extra. You want to kind of smooth out all that extra until it's kind of mounded on top of your box. And you don't want to push too hard because you'll blow out the sides of your box. You can kind of support it. Going to end up with something that looks a little bit like that. Kind of looks like a loaf of bread with a big old rounded top. And that is where this guy comes in. And you're going to take him, and using the top of your box as a guide, you're going to slice off all that extra clay. And this is called striking a brick. Ta-da! And you'll notice those little marks, those are called strike marks. And then we found, during the restoration of this house, we found a very, very special brick, and it was signed by Gabriel Farnsley. So obviously people were writing in the wet clay of the bricks. And so you can use your toothpick and decorate it any way you would like. we encourage people to add the date to their brick. Although Gabriel signed a brick, he didn't put a date on it. And it would have been really helpful if he had dated his brick, because then we would have known for sure that the house was completed in 1837. And based on tax records, we believe that that's when it was finished. But if he had dated his brick, we would have known for sure. So we always encourage people to date their brick. And you don't have to press very hard. You just use your toothpick. There you go. And in a couple days, your brick will start to dry and it will shrink up in your mold. And then eventually, after about a week, it'll just pop out. Now our bricks, your brick, this one, is not gonna be baked in an oven or fired. So it's gonna be what we call a green brick, which means that after it's dry, it's still not okay to leave it outside. If it gets too wet, it'll actually turn to mush. But we hope that you enjoyed this demonstration, and we hope that you come and visit us here at Riverside and that you take a tour, and feel free to grab one of our hands-on history adventure boxes to take home with you. You have a great day.